All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Town of Cedar Lake Special Town Council meeting for December 23rd, 2024. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by opening prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Prince of Peace, light of the world, shine down upon us and bring us your favor as we participate in holidays. Let the spirit of that season carry over into how we treat each other. May you make us more thankful for community and make us more willing to participate to make it a great one. Thank you that we get to join together with you in building the kingdom of God here on earth as it is in heaven. Please be over these proceedings and may our town prosper. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Just for the record, it's Pastor Ken Pewen from the Cedar Lake United Methodist Church. We're doing that every time when we start a day.
Thank you, Pastor.
Yes.
Meeting is called to order at 7:07 p.m. Roll call, please, Ms. Sandberg.
Robert Carnahan.
Here.
Julie Rivera. Here. Chuck Becker.
Here.
Mary Jo Dixon.
Here.
Richard Field.
Here.
Greg Parker.
Here.
Nick Recupero.
Here.
I am present. Jeff Bungie.
Present.
David Ostrand.
Present.
Thank you. We'll open up the floor to public comment on agenda items. Public comment on agenda items only. Last call for public comment on agenda items. Public comment on agenda items now closed. Ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 1506, salary ordinance year 2025. This item was deferred December 3rd and December 17th, 2024. Attorney Austin, legals are all in order?
There were no legals
Or-
necessary for this.
Oh, not for this one?
Except for posting.
Posting. All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Parker, can we get a reading of ordinance by title only, please?
Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, ordinance number 1506. An ordinance amending town salary ordinance number 1481, establishing jobs and salaries to be paid certain offices, positions, and jobs within the town of Cedar Lake for the year 2025, and repealing all ordinances or parts thereof in conflict herewith.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I would like to amend the proposed 2025 salary ordinance to include the hiring of the planning director at a biweekly pay amount of $3,269.24 with a 3 weeks vacation and a start date of December 30th for Terry Conley with review verification by the town attorney. And for the clerk treasurer listing in the posted 2025 salary ordinance to only include active positions for consistency with the other departments.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That's on the motion to amend.
Motion. Yep. Yes, sir. So we have a motion to amend the year 2025 salary ordinance to include the hiring of planning director at a biweekly amount of $3,269.24 with 3 weeks vacation and the start date of December 30th for Terry Conley with review verification by the town attorney, as well as amending the clerk treasurer listing in the proposed 2025 salary ordinance to only include active positions for consistency with other departments. Motion made by Mr. Teal, seconded by Mr. Becker. Any discussion?
And the motion to amend made by Councilman Steele.
Yep.
So it's just to amend the ordinance, then do the,
Correct. That's
so
reading.
it's just to amend the ordinance first.
Yes.
And then we'll do the second ordinance, do the
The reading,
reading.
correct?
correct.
Yes, sir. Okay, if there's no more discussion, roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan.
Yes.
Julie Rivera.
Yes.
Chuck Becker.
Yes.
Mary Jo Dixon.
Yes.
Richard Field.
Yes.
Greg Parker.
Yes.
Nick Recupero.
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
from this point forward, you are considering only the amended ordinance presented before you.
Okay. Do we need to have another reading after the amendment?
You will.
A second, that would be the second reading?
3 readings total here.
Oh, okay. Can we get a reading, Mr. Parker, please?
Town of Cedar Lake, Lee County, Indiana, ordinance number 1506. An ordinance amending town salary ordinance number 1481, establishing jobs and salaries to be paid certain offices, positions, and jobs within the town of Cedar Lake for the year 2025, and repealing all ordinances and parts thereof in conflict therewith.
Thank you, sir. So some opening remarks on this. I know it's been...
We've got to do the amendment first?
Amendment's done.
Okay.
Amendment's done. Now, it's first reading approval.
Okay,
You just had
Okay.
the reading by Councilman Parker.
so go ahead with the
You need a-
approve.
You need a second.
Okay. Who made the motion to approve first reading?
So moved.
Greg,
Okay. Is there a second?
I will second.
Motion made by Mr. Parker, seconded by Mr. Teal to approve the first reading of ordinance number 15, amended ordinance 1506.
Is somebody going to explain what it's all about?
Well, should we do that after the first reading? Or after the
at
first?
any point, it's time over.
Okay. We've got a motion and a second on the floor. We'll open up the discussion, and I'll do opening remarks. I suppose I can do them now, Dave, huh?
You could.
Okay, before we vote on it?
Yeah, it would be beneficial.
Sure. Yeah, good idea, Bob. All right, so, this is kind of long anticipated. We had to defer this a couple times, as we mentioned, to kind of get this right. We have pretty much stuck with what we had in the original salary ordinance for most of the employees, but we really worked really hard to get our public safety wages up. Sue Hayes, if you're online, if you wouldn't mind chiming in, just a kind of a brief overview as far as the numbers. We were looking at roughly a 21% increase on part-time firefighter paramedic pay, 36% for part-time firefighter EMT. Overall fire department salary increase around 9% or over 9%, and police department of 8.5%. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Sue?
No, basically what we did is, we found, hang on a minute.
Okay.
Okay, I have my video, but I do not have video of the town. So, if I get funny, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, you had, what it was is just like you said, you wanted to, increase the salaries. If we could find a sustainable source of revenue, and we felt that we had, identified that sustainable source of revenue, and working, with the clerk treasurer and working with various council members, that is where we came up with it was spread across the board, as far as every position got increased. There was discussion, there was review, to try to, possibly make the division between various classifications a little bit wider, but in the end, it was decided that the clerk treasurer and I should simply do equals increase for every person in dollar amount, which obviously lower salary is a higher increase. So, that is how we did it, and we did not, we identified the additional source of revenue, and we did not use 100% of it because of everybody's concern that, what if something comes up that makes another claim on that revenue, because, we can't just pocket little pieces of money in different accounts only for a specific use. It's all in the general fund. So this was felt that it was the most fair way to do it, and it's, from what I have been told and indicated to me, that we are looking at this as our first step, and we will be looking all year long in 2025 and in anticipation of 2026 ordinance to attempt to get it, to even make more adjustments, market adjustments, and then also to try some of the other suggestions we had from the various chiefs and their individuals, their support individuals, that to try and make some of those strides to put more distance between classifications and then potentially other benefits. But this is a first step.
Yeah, I agree. You kind of just relayed everything we all discussed is a big first bite on this, and then we can evaluate this in the coming months in 2025 and see what tweaks we need to make. But sustainability was a big thing that we had talked about, Sue, that we didn't want to offer something that, you know, in 1, 2, 3 years down the road would dry up. We wanted to make sure there was a sustainable path. It's only fair for the employees. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Any other discussion? Okay. Sue, you have anything else to add, or is that about it?
That's all I have.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank you for doing that, because I didn't want to vote no.
Well, we really,
Do it.
Jen and I have...
Talked
Jen and
about
I
this
have
for the
really
benefit of
put
everybody.
pencil to it, so...
Sure, Chief.
So the chiefs didn't get an increase at all?
There's no department head increases in this right now. We focused on where we were, like, hemorrhaging employees, you know, focus on the rank and file, and we'll reevaluate this next year. Okay?
Take care of your employees.
Yeah. And you had asked for the part-time, you know, you've been screaming from the mountaintops, rightly so, and we thought we can get really competitive with that to alleviate that overtime and the burnout. So,
Okay.
all right. So we've got a motion and a second for approval of the first reading. Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera? Yes. Chuck Becker?
Yes.
Mary Jo Dixon?
Yes.
Richard Thiel?
Yes.
Greg Parker?
Yes.
And Nick Recupero?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. All right. Now we need to do second reading?
Suspend the rules and go to second reading.
Okay. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules to allow second reading of ordinance number 1506?
So moved.
Okay, that's both of you vote right there.
Who made the motion?
Chuck made, I'll second.
Chuck Becker, Richard Thiel, to suspend the rules to allow for a second reading. Any discussion?
Mr. President?
Yes,
How
sir.
are you going to open the floor?
I can open the floor again, yes.
This would be the right time.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay, very good. We'll open the floor to remonstrance for ordinance number 1506, salary ordinance year 2025. First call. Second call. Last call. All right, remonstrance is now closed. We'll move forward with roll call then.
You gotta read it?
Well, that was to amend the agenda.
Well, no, but now,
Yeah, we're
we
voting
have
to
to-
suspend the rules and allow
yeah,
second reading.
Mr. President, I'd like to, make the motion to approve ordinance number 1506,
Wait, we didn't do roll call.
Yeah, we need the roll call.
sorry.
Yep, roll call, please.
Suspend the rules.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera? Yes. Chuck Becker?
Yes.
Mary Jo Dixon?
Yes.
Richard Thiel?
Yes.
Greg Parker?
Yes.
And Nick Recupero?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. So now we'll move on to
Adoption.
adoption. Okay. We need one more reading. One more reading, Mr. Parker, by title only, please.
Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, ordinance number 1506. An ordinance amending town salary ordinance number 1481, establishing jobs and salaries to be paid certain offices, positions, and jobs within the town of Cedar Lake for the year 2025, and repealing all ordinances and parts thereof in conflict therewith.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
Yep, we're all good. Now we just go ahead and solicit a motion to adopt. All right. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1506? So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Thiel, seconded by Mr. Becker to adopt ordinance number 1506. Any discussion? Roll call? Oh, go ahead.
I don't know if to say it now or when I say vote, but I'm gonna vote no because I think the department head should get some sort of raise, the cost of living, the work that they've done. And I believe it would have had a minimal effect on the raises overall, but I do agree with the police and fire raises are a long time coming. I just think the department head should be, given the raise now.
Okay, fair enough. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
No.
Chuck Becker?
Yes.
Mary Jo Dixon?
Yes.
Richard Thiel?
Yes.
Greg Parker?
Yes.
Nick Recupedo?
Yes, motion carries 6-1. Ordinance number 1506 is adopted. We'll move on to town council appointments under new business. We've got a list of appointments here. I'll name them off one by one, and then we'll take action at the end. Number 1, liaisons to the Plan Commission. We have Bob Carnahan, Chuck Becker, Greg Parker. Board of Safety Commission, Bob Carnahan, Chuck Becker. Park Board, Mary Jo Dixon, Julie Rivera. Unsafe Building, Richard Thiel. Stormwater Management Board, Julie Rivera. Joint Management Oversight Board, Richard Thiel and Mary Jo Dixon. Northwest Indiana Regional Planning Commission, Bob Carnahan. Lake County Solid Waste District, Nick Recupedo, with an alternate of Bob Carnahan. And Lake County Community Services, Mary Jo Dixon. We motion to approve this list.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Dixon, seconded by Mr. Parker, to approve these town council appointments as stated. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
No.
Chuck Becker?
Yes.
Mary Jo Dixon?
Yes.
Richard Thiel?
Yes.
Greg Parker?
Yes.
Nick Recupedo?
Yes, motion carries 6-1. Number 2, appointments to boards and commissions. We have Board of Safety, 2, David Villalobos, Barbara Littles. Board of Zoning Appeals, John Capora. Park Board, Gail Brannon. Plan Commission, Heather Dessauer. Stormwater Board, Bob Grosek. Unsafe Board, John Hojek. Park Foundation, Kathy Broomhead and Cheryl Parker. For motion to approve this list and appoint.
So moved.
Your second.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Parker, seconded by Mr. Thiel to approve these appointments to various boards and commissions. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
No, I believe Sarah Miller and Pat Conlon should stay.
Chuck Becker?
Yes.
Mary Jo Dixon?
Yes.
Richard Thiel?
Yes.
Greg Parker?
Yes.
Nick Recupedo?
Yes, motion carries 6-1. Number 3, appoint a liaison for Community Heart and Soul. Anybody like to make an appointment for,
I nominate Meg Jaley.
I'll second.
Who was that?
Meg Jaley.
okay, we have a motion by Mr. Parker, seconded by Mr. Thiel to appoint Meg Jaley to be the liaison for Community Heart and Soul. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Chuck Becker?
Yes.
Mary Jo Dixon?
Yes.
Richard Thiel?
Yes.
Greg Parker?
Yes.
Nick Recupedo?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Number 4, Dave, we don't have to act on that one, being that we appointed any that cluster of appointments?
No,
No? No actions needed?
no action needed.
Okay, thank you, sir. Number 5, Town Road Committee recommendations for year 2025 road projects. Anyone from the Road Committee like to comment on this? Street Committee?
Bob, you wanna explain that?
Well, there's a lot of stuff here. We're going to apply for $3 million to Community Crossing Grant. And most of that is going to cover, streets that are east of Morris that have never been paved since the sewers were put in town. And, that means if we get approved by, what's that noise?
Officer's radio.
Police officer leaving for a call.
Okay, and so if we get approved for the $3 million, we'll be responsible for $1.5 million. And, We've also, got, NERC, East Lake Shore Drive, Morris Street sidewalk that we're working on. And, we considered, switching engineers, right, Chuck and Greg?
Yes.
And, 133rd Avenue, raising, the road over, off of, over there by Robin's Nest where the dip is, to increase that. That's another NERC project. And then Founder's Creek, multi-use path, and that won't, program for design is in 2026. And 141st Avenue, North Fork, Southern Railroad Crossing preliminary plans sent on, May 2nd. PE Engineering, agreement, received on June 12th. And, $24,612 estimated review fees for 30, 60, 90, and 100 plan review. Pedestrian signals is not preferred, by MFS, and I don't know what that means right off the top of... North Fork Southern, okay. Subdivision overlays, Merton Drive, 129th Place, Colfax, Fulton Street, 129th Lane, Morris Lane, estimated cost, I don't know if I should read them, because I don't want that,
Proprietary.
right, because we may get lower bids. And then 130th Place, 130th Place, 131st Place, 131st Avenue, 132nd Avenue, and 132nd Place, Morris Street, and Edison Street. That's up back, behind, the shopping center down by Sandbar Grill and Dollar General, back up in there. 144th Avenue, 145th Avenue, Hobart Street, Colfax, Wheeler Street, and that's part of the shades. And we've got Birch Street in here, but didn't we scratch that?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think it's still in there.
I hope not.
All right. Well, they talked about it, so I wanted it in there, but I wasn't, I didn't remember if I thought we scratched it, but
Well,
that's...
I think that worked out to be the lowest priority if we were, depending on how much money we got and how much, we had figured we would, expend on the other projects. If, it's definitely, in the planning stages, it's been earmarked for, that it's obviously a concern, but, in kind of an in-house little rating, that we did, it was, out of the three other projects, this one was definitely a, smaller priority.
Peeler Creek culvert replacement on 147th Avenue, and then 133rd Avenue sidewalks from Faith Church to Robin's Nest, and Morris Street corridor sidewalk, and water main. West Lake Shore Drive sidewalk corridor, phase 2, and CSX Railroad Crossing at 133rd Avenue, 137th Avenue, and 141st Avenue. Federal, fund calls, the United States Department of Transportation Safety, Streets and Roads for All, SS4A annual call. What is the SSA, do you know, Jeff?
That's the streets, Safe Streets for All,
Okay,
SS for All.
okay. Public meeting, held on June 12th, public participation for self-certification. Planning documents is not yet adopted by the town. Planning versus implementation grants. Maximum grant award of 2.5, that's an 80-20 match. Rebuilding America's infrastructure with sustainability and equality. U.S. Department of Transportation reconnecting community pilot grants. No future calls scheduled. And then we're also going to try to do what on Robin's Nest, Chuck?
Well, we're gonna see.
We're going
We gotta get
to,
an estimate, because,
we gotta get an estimate on that.
because those roads are breaking down. He said it's worse than, it's
Yeah.
same as Utopia was, it's at the point.
So that's the recommendation, and everybody got a copy of that in your packet.
Okay. Attorney Austin, it was a rather lengthy recommendation. This was kind of, this is what Christopher B. Burke had presented to the, road committee members. What kind of action do we need on this to move forward?
Authorize whatever the next steps and actions are, be it grant application or submissions,
Okay,
whatever it is.
okay. Do you guys have a clear path from Don one by one? There seems like there's a lot of moving parts here.
I don't know that we do. I mean, he's got them kind of broken out. CCMG is the first block. NERC TIP is the second block.
Did we give him direction to do it?
I think we did, yes.
Wasn't it engineering?
Our direction was the, recommendation to the town council for Don to move forward with what he had on the sheet.
Correct.
Jeff, you were gonna say something?
Well, is that, if we go back to let's see, what subheading is it? I guess it's the fourth one, where they talk about the future not allocated projects. That was the one that's going to be the next hot topic as far as a very short window of opportunity, and that's where we need you approval or blessing to move forward in the funding opportunity that goes along with it, and it's a pretty short window. As Mr. Carnahan said, it opens January 2nd, and it's only open for the month of January, so that's the reason why we need
Approval.
kind of a clear path on what we're shooting for in that prioritization that went through.
Ms. Sandberg, you had asked in the past for some direction from the council on what projects we want to do in 2025. What do you recommend here with what's presented? I mean, it seems like this one for CCMG seems to be pretty urgent because of the window that's open for
Yeah.
funding. But what's your recommendation with what you see?
I guess I just need a clear idea from you guys, that way we could sit down and figure out the actual funding sources, because you already have the CCMG 2024-2 project being paid for out of the general obligation bond, at least that's the last that I had heard. So you've got that project covered. Otherwise, what we had put into the 2025 budget was approximately $300,000 out of the motor vehicle highway fund based on anticipated motor vehicle highway revenues, but that's only $300,000. So we'd have to figure out where the rest of your match would come from.
Okay.
We need to work on that.
Yeah. And we might have some more flexibility with the GO bond, with some monies being freed up in that.
That's what we've talked about so
Yeah.
far,
Yeah.
the GO bond.
Okay. So are you ready to act on this tonight, or is this something that needs to be deferred to the next meeting?
I think the quicker we act on it, so Don can prepare, to submit stuff for the community crossing grant.
How about NERC?
Well, that's,
I don't think that's eligible for this one, because NERC does their own funding programs.
and like that,
Well, I'd ask.
Some of those projects are already approved.
Okay,
Some of those are already approved.
all right. So it's pretty much, the most pressing one would be CCMG 2025-1, those
Yeah.
projects. Okay. Which don't have any direction as far as I know right now, right?
No.
Okay,
Other than those streets east of Morris.
okay.
President,
Yes, sir.
perhaps, your town manager and engineering consultant can get together and give you a little more formal direction for your upcoming first meeting in January.
Well, the deadline's January 2nd, we gotta do something tonight for someone.
No, it opens January second.
End of January, you have to have it submitted by the end of January.
Yeah, I thought you had the month of January.
You got a little time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you guys are okay with waiting, I think Attorney Austin's probably right to get that lined up. And you will have, our first meeting will be January 7th, so you'll have, handful of weeks after that to get it done. You think Don can get it done that fast?
Send him a text, well, I don't know if he's in the office, we're not in the office, but I'll send him a text in the morning.
Unless you folks have another idea.
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to go ahead and approve the community crossing grant with contingent on Jeff and Don's, review of it, and come up with, some verbiage that clarifies, what, the report he sent to us.
It's safe, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Carnahan, seconded by Mr. Teal, to approve, can you go over that motion again, please? I was approve the CCMG 2025-1 projects, contingent, Mr. Bungie and Mr. Oliphant's review.
Review,
Okay,
correct.
very good. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Chuck Becker?
Yes.
Mary Jo Dixon?
Yes.
Richard Deal?
Yes.
Fred Joseph?
Yes.
Nick Recupero?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Okay, we'll open up the floor to public comment for the council. Public comment?
Jerry Connor, 10330 Paramount Way here in Cedar Lake. So you're telling me that the public safety department did not get a raise?
Correct.
How do you justify that?
The way we're justifying it is that what I told Chief Welkening, is that we have an issue with people leaving, rank and file, and we're increasing those wages so we can retain and attract talent, and we're hoping that everybody, all these leaders in this town, the council didn't take a raise, boards and commissions didn't take raises, heads didn't take raises. My opinion, we need to lead by example, and that's how we justify it.
I agree with Mr. Rivera.
Okay.
To just, how many people are we talking? 2 people?
4,
Four?
5?
I mean, these are the people that are running this town with their departments. And did you discuss this with them, if this was gonna happen? Are they aware of it, or?
They're aware of it now.
No, but not
But-
ahead of time.
We have 100 and something employees, are we supposed to discuss this with everybody?
How can you exclude those 4 people then? That's-
From what?
From getting a raise.
I told you how. And that doesn't mean that next year we don't reevaluate. This is a big leap to try to make things right in
Are
this
they gonna
town.
get caught up next year with what everybody got this year? Because they got pretty significant raises, correct?
Well, can I,
Mr. Becker, go ahead.
last
That's my
year,
opinion.
the department heads got a 5% raise.
And no one else got anything?
The other employees got a 3% raise. So they're making $89,000 last year, they got a $4,400 raise for this year, for '24. Well, the average employee, if they made $66,000 last year, they got the 3% raise, so they only got about $1,800 for the year. So they basically doubled what the employees did last year.
But now they're behind this year by a lot, right?
Well, they,
How much
For one,
are we
they're
talking about? I mean, new commissioners for very commission with minimal cost.
But we're trying to do what we can for the employees, the majority of the employees. I understand, but they, like I said, they got double the amount as the other employees last year.
I know they talked about benefits and stuff. Were there any increases in benefits? Paid time off, vacation, whatever?
That's all stuff we're working on, we're continuing to work on. We've got a lot of ground to make up in this town. This is the council's first big move to make up ground.
In my opinion, I think that's a message sent to the department heads, honestly. I mean, would you guys all pass up on your raises for 2025 wherever you work?
We did.
They did.
Not here, your personal work.
If it means sustainability,
How would you feel, you know?
it's for sustainability of the department, because we have heard from these department heads, they were losing people. So we're trying not to lose these people.
It's okay, I want my people taken care of.
And I know you do,
That's
Chief.
leading by example, thank you. That's exactly what
Thank you
we're
for
looking
those comments, Todd.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Chief Wilkening.
Any other public comment for the council? All right, last call. Jennifer, you have anybody online?
Thanks, Jerry, though.
Okay. All right, public comments now closed. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, January 7th.